So my name's Jamie Hayes. I am the Group Service Delivery Manager for ICT for a company called Sureserve Group in the UK. Our company is listed on the AIM market. We have something like 3,000 staff. Of those staff, nearly 2,000 are engineers. And effectively our company operates for councils doing boiler servicing and repair. We also have a lift company that does lift servicing. We have a water testing company and a fire alarm company. And obviously we do renewables, so solar power and resale energy. So probably about 10 companies across the UK. Prior to ManageEngine, so we have 3 ManageEngine products. We use AD Audit Plus, Service Desk Plus, and Endpoint Central. Prior to going with ManageEngine and buying that 3-product suite, we had no real ITIL processes, so incident management, problem management, change control. But that isn't impacted on buying ManageEngine products. What Service Desk Plus has done for us is allow us to manage the whole ITIL spec. So, from incident to problem to change to release. We are still on an ITIL journey to get to things like a fully qualified CMDB and all of those sort of higher level ITIL processes, so transition and design and how we align those into operations. So we're looking to utilize ManageEngine heavily there. From the Endpoint Central point of view, Endpoint Central for us is an absolute underpinner to our business. Like I said, we have 1,800 to 200 engineers running round in vans, servicing people's boilers every day. There's a lot of legal compliance that needs to be done for that before we, as a business, we actually get paid. So we utilize Endpoint Central to deploy our substantive applications to those engineers, and obviously all of the other applications. And then there's the whole keeping devices in contact, and actually, and also, on a very humanistic level, there is the where are my engineers? Are they safe? Are they, and all of that good stuff. Obviously, factoring in GDPR. So the fact that your Endpoint Central product caters for a hell of a lot of aspects of mobile device management, true desktop management and PC management. So the fact that we can utilize Endpoint Central as kind of a replacement for SCCM and the products that allow us to distribute apps. But yeah, so when we chose you guys, it was very much that sort of product offering across the piece. Not just for Service Desk, but for Endpoint Central, and the fact that Endpoint Central links into Service Desk, and we have that whole sort of roadmap to get to the end of ITIL and manage IT properly. We had a few issues with SOTI, to be fair, which is, again, one of the reasons why we looked at Endpoint Central back then. And those issues were not necessarily related to SOTI. They were more about how we managed it and how we didn't manage it. So what we found with Endpoint Central is it's a much less complicated product to get you to the end point, per se. Yeah. And from a Service Desk point of view, we were using SupportWorks. So the real sort of key to Service Desk Plus is that it just underpins us on our journey in a very holistic fashion, right? And having said that, when you look at things like Remedy, SupportWorks, all of your sort of comparable competitors, right? They all do kind of the same stuff. But again, one of the things I like about ManageEngine as a company, as a whole rounded company, is that roadmap of development and actually looking forward. The fact that I can deploy various versions of a service desk or a ITSM product, but in different areas of my business. So, I can look at the HR side of the coin, and then what I can do with that is I can transpose between 2 products and 2 instances. And so when you look at business holistic workflow, I can apply a workflow in IT that then goes across the whole piece. Previously, we had a problem with X amount of laptops we bought. It was very easy to identify using the reporting module the batch of laptops that were in error. Yeah, so it was very easy to then go to the procurement module, find the purchase order. And so in a problem management sense, it was very easy utilizing the whole suite to go, actually, it's that batch of laptops I bought 2 months ago. Yeah, so it's not specific instances, it's not a specific problem, it's just a problem with the batch that was manufactured. We changed our name. So we changed our name to Sureserve Group from a company called Lakehouse Contracts. As part of that name change, we sold that business. Our website went off with that business. All of our devices, our 4,000 devices out in the world, were reporting to that website. We noticed this, and obviously we face a very big issue there in that if someone deletes that website, changes, the configuration of that website, we lose control of all our devices, right? I reported this to ManageEngine and I said, please help. Within 2 weeks, ManageEngine had a proof of concept for us, whereby our devices could report to 2 websites. And we implemented that, we got over that problem, and that's now become actually a part of Endpoint Central. It's something that was developed for us as a problem, and is now a fundamental part of the product. So we use application management. So one of the best features we find now is the alpha beta deployment process that you can utilize within the software category for the mobile piece. So we have our own in-house app, as I kind of mentioned, and we deploy that to 2,000 users, like I say, who are in vans using mobile signals, Wi-Fi signals. So we absolutely now follow the alpha beta process. And prior to that, we had to use different instances of the application using Google bundle identifiers, which very quickly got us into an estate where we had very disparate versions and quite a lot of versions. But since putting in the alpha beta process, that doesn't happen anymore. We do user acceptance testing. We then deploy that application to 2,000 users with the push of a button. We use most aspects of Endpoint Central for mobiles, so things like geofencing, reporting on users, reporting on apps, banning apps, looking at what they are using. Obviously, we lock down the devices. That's one of the big keys for us for data loss protection and security. So we absolutely lock down the devices so everybody works within a policy. On the other side of Endpoint Central around laptops, desktops, we are not utilizing it to the full extent, and that's obviously something we are working on together as partners. But we use it in the sense of we know exactly where our laptops are. We know patch management, vulnerability management, utilizing it as a SCCM per se. So deploying apps to devices in the wide area network. I know I have a true partner in ManageEngine, and if I need to contact you guys about something that isn't in your roadmap or a feature or a problem I have, it will get resolved relatively quickly. When the pandemic come along, we were actually in a very good place. And the reason we were in such a good place is all of the stuff I spoke about, right? We have 1,800 engineers who already use mobile devices. So some of them have got laptops, tablets, phones. So because of that, we were already in a good place for our engineers, right? So there was quite a few compliance things we had to do for councils and the UK government around when a gas engineer turns up to someone's house to fix their boiler. They obviously had to fill in extra forms. And so obviously ManageEngine helped us to develop that within our incumbent app and push that instantly to 2,000 people. Yeah. So that was one of the benefits of having that already in place. Endpoint Central has that whole auditability side of it where we can look in and say, right, what has X user taken off this week on a USB point of view, or The real problem over COVID was telephony systems. So a lot of our back-end workforce went from being in the office using structured telephony to moving to the home office using cloud telephony. So, and the real key thing about that was we obviously, purchased and built cloud systems for, our workforce within the space of about a month. But utilizing ManageEngine, we was able to put that telephony system on a desktop, run a script on it so that the user configuration settings were already done. We didn't have to talk them through, you've got to use this headset, etc. We could push that, right? So ManageEngine absolutely helped us prepare for the pandemic. Like I said, we are on that journey to ITIL, and we're on that journey, sort of down that road to run, an accredited professional IT department that looks at the majority of IT. What I find with my team now is we have a very sort of traditional, we run a lot of reporting and we analyze quite a lot. So what I'm looking for from ManageEngine products is to limit that person work per se, yeah. So to bring in some automation. One of the big things we're looking at is the CMDB and Services Plus, and how we can build a true holistic CMDB of our business, because within our business, IT apps are quite complicated, and we develop all the time, and it's looking at those things around, you make a change to an application, but you then need to update the middleware, the base architecture, the documentation around that, right? So that's where we're going, and I am very confident that as a partner, ManageEngine will absolutely support us in that. Android compliance. So at the moment, from a security point of view, we are very much 8.1, right? Anything below 8.1 needs to be retired. But we know that in 2 years' time, that's going to be 10, that's going to be 11, 13, right? And it's the fact that utilizing the products of ManageEngine, especially Endpoint Central, absolutely underpins that from our business perspective. The world has changed, right? The world has absolutely changed. Every one of my IT staff understands that their fundamental job role is around IT security, whether they be infrastructure, project management, first line, second line, development. Everybody must factor that security piece in. And then, so obviously on top of that, the whole fact that Service Desk Plus underpins the processes, allows you to be much more dynamic and scalable, and get that level of complexity whereby as a management team, you have the granularity, you can see the stuff, but actually the people on the ground know what they're doing. They understand that they cross the piece per se, right?